Alright folks, this lesson tonight will be covering the Lightning tank as well as the Prowler. The Lightning will be the first part of this lesson. It's going to be formatted into two parts. Part 1 will be specifically about Lightning and then how to handle it in a battle against specific type of tanks. Part 2 will be about the Prowler and different maneuvers that are available for the Prowler to fight against enemy tanks, and how you can make these maneuvers advantageous and learn how to fight these tanks. Once you learn how to fight an enemy tank, they actually don't seem as overpowered as people first think. Alright, for the Lightning, there are multiple loadout options. The first one we will discuss is the Sky Guard. The Sky Guard is basically the anti-air weaponry of a Sky Guard is extremely good at taking out aircraft if you have 2 or 3 of them. It can be a major deterrent and can shred multiple aircrafts within seconds. A couple of Sky Guards in a tank composition will completely decimate a battle. However, a Sky Guard alone is a prime target to be exploded by almost any tank that's out there, as well as Liberators. A Sky Guard should never be alone. They should be used in composition with other anti-air. The second loadout for a tank would be the AP rounds. The AP is basically the armor-piercing round of the tank, and is basically moderately good. However, its weakness is the fact that it does not have an AoE dispersion. Personally, I don't recommend the AP rounds on the Lightning, just because Lightnings tend to be more of a maneuverable tank, and I feel personally that the AP doesn't help the Lightning that much. I know some other people would disagree with that and prefer the AP. That's up to user preference. The next type of loadout would be the HE rounds, or the HE Python. Both are anti-personnel ones, and with the Lightning maneuverability can be extremely deadly against enemy infantry, as well as moderately deadly against enemy tanks. HE rounds should not be overlooked, as they are surprisingly good in almost any situation. Does anybody have any basic questions about these 3 loadout types that are available?
Okay, maybe me. Okay,
you mentioned the HE, the AP, and the Skyguard. Are you gonna cover the HEAT?
Do you use that one, Blueberry?
Yeah, I use HEAT.
You want to explain it better? Because you probably can explain that one personally better than I can.
Alright, let's see. Overall, the HEAT rounds, or heat cannon, it's the same gun that you have on your standard stock Prowler. It's pretty good against everything. If you're going to have a general combat unit, you want HEAT. It's not nearly as strong against infantry as in high explosive cannon. It's not as deadly as the anti-personnel gun, but it's a nice combo of the two. It makes it very effective against targets, say Sunderers. If you use this, you can easily hunt down a target. Overall, I'd say that it's probably one of the better ones to start with, as it is very cheap. It's the cheapest one you can get at first, and after which you can choose which style you like. But for a gun, it's the best one for starting with. I'd go for something of your preference afterwards. That's about it for heat rounds.
Thank you. Does anybody else have any quick questions or about these different loadouts, or any comments they would like to make as to strategies they use with the loadouts? Okay, we are going to move on to the 2 types of maneuverabilities for the Lightning. A Lightning has 2 different things. One called the Speed Racer, which allows the Lightning to basically, it's called Racer High Speed Chasis. It allows the Lightning to maneuver much quicker than the enemy. The other one is Rival Combat Chassis, which allows you to rotate quicker. The rival one, and also it would allow you to climb mountains a little bit faster. Between the two, I personally think the HE Racer is faster. I am sure that there are other people that would prefer the other ones. The reason I prefer the HE is when you're strafing an enemy tank, both chassis will actually allow you to do so. However, the HE one, because of its quick speed at maximum speed, will allow you to turn at a wider radius and allow you to also be more maneuverable in approaching an enemy tank. Whereas the chassis will allow you to make tighter turns, but you're also moving quite a bit slower, so it can be harder to rotate around an enemy tank, depending on the type of tank it is. I know that there are some people that prefer the other one because it allows you to make certain the tighter turns around a mag raider will allow you to get up underneath it and make that harder for the mag raider to hit you. However, with the HE round, the chassis, the high-speed chassis that I personally prefer, you can actually not only do that, but if you get in a situation where a second mag raider shows up, you can actually escape them.
If I could throw something onto here.
Yeah,
on the topic of the high-speed chassis, I'd like to point out that the Lightning tank is designed around speed for the most part. If you look at it, it's a very small, very agile kind of tank. So these things are built to be fast and deadly. If you're going for firepower, then you should probably pull your MBT, the Prowler. But if you want speed and a lot of firepower at that point, I definitely go with Racer High Speed. It's worth upgrading to like second or maximum level, because once you get full speed on the tank, it is almost impossible for a tank to hit you while you're moving.
That is correct. Another thing, too, with the high-speed chassis, and this is something I have done many times, is if you're trying to evade, say, an enemy mosquito or liberator that's bombing you, they have an extremely hard time hitting the high-speed chassis that is turning, because you're moving quite a bit quicker than their Dalton and Zephyr can hit, and if you know they're over you, you can actually outmaneuver their Dalton range if you move like in a circular or a strafing pattern. It's actually quite maneuverable, and you'd be surprised how many times that will actually save you from being destroyed by enemy air. Where normally with the rival chassis, because you're not moving as quick and your turns are tighter, it makes it a little bit easier for the Dalton to hit you. Does anybody have any other questions or comments they would like to know about this? Signy, I know you're a Lightning user. You've been awfully quiet. Is there anything you'd like to add?
I prefer the rival combat chassis, but the Lightning, the difference between stock and Racer 3 is about 16 miles per hour top speed, and you can go from 0 to 60 in less than 3 seconds as opposed to 5 seconds.
Don't mean to be a jerk, but in this game, everything is measured in kilometers per hour.
Everybody has their own preference.
Oh, what did I say?
But
You said miles per hour.
Yeah, it's kilometers per hour.
Yeah, easy mistake. I've made that before.
But that's the
Okay.
difference between the stock and the Racer.
It all depends on playstyle, whether you want to get up close and personal and do a strafing run, or simply fly by and shoot their rear armor.
ouch. He's been waiting for us to start all this time. Alright, and Signy, thank you for that.
Dark Serpent, just letting you know we are using the Ventrilo channel.
Yeah, I couldn't hear you either.
What? Yeah, and some other people can't hear me if I don't use them.
Right, I can hear both.
Right.
Hey, Matt, could you quickly put down a squad beacon so I can deploy in.
I don't think they work in here, do they?
Yeah, they do. Remember leadership training?
No, they don't.
Let
It
us
won't
drop
let me
in
put
on
it
them.
down.
It won't?
Sorry.
Okay, they must have patched it then.
Alright, to continue on with this lesson, does anybody else have any comments they would like to add about the different chassis types?
I would say give them a try
Hello,
in here and
guys.
see which one you like the feel of. You get the faster acceleration with the racer,
How
but
about-
the rival lets you climb more things and be more maneuverable.
Yeah, and remember everybody, we are near a spawning vehicle. If there is anything that you want to test here, I suggest spawning the tank with these specific loadouts, and you can test them out. There will be a phase after this where we're going to take a few minute break to discuss some tactics, and you will be able to try the different loadouts and test them out during that phase. We're going to have like a couple minute break to test everything we have discussed here in a few minutes.
Hey, does going into the VR still mess up your loadouts?
Only if
No.
you mess around with stuff.
No, they fixed it.
Cool thing.
Alright, the next thing we will be discussing is the different armor types. There are many options here. Some of them I have not personally used, so I cannot comment on. The ones I have used are the front armor, which basically reduces your forward damage by 10%. This can be very useful when you are facing an enemy spawn area, and basically will allow you to take a couple extra missile hits as long as your front of your tank is facing the enemy where the enemy is coming from. The weakness to this, however, is that if you notice now with the Phoenixes and stuff, most people will actually fire over the front armor and basically hit you from the top when you're facing NC. So it's not quite as useful as it used to be, thanks to the Phoenix missile launcher. However, when you're facing the Vanu, it can still be extremely useful. So keep that in mind with the forward front armor. The second one is the side armor. This one, it protects your side from 15% additional damage. It can be good if you are going to be fighting another lightning and you're doing maneuverable things like with the high-speed chassis. And hit you from the sides as well. With that armor, it is very useful because in those battles, basically you're going to take an extra hit or two from the enemy lightning, whereas a lot of times most lightnings will not have that type of reinforcement on their sides and will actually die. Shots from a Liberator's Dalton or...
Matt, I think your mic's cutting out a tiny bit. I keep missing a couple words here and there.
I know in the beta it used to be able to survive an extra round of the rocket pods. Maybe someone with the Sky Guy can confirm this for me after I finish this part of the lesson. The Mine Guard is basically will protect you against enemy mines, as I honestly don't really recommend that one unless you're going out way in front of the enemy with a high-speed chassis to clear out mines, because basically one...
Yeah, Matt, your squad chat keeps...
A second mine? What was this?
Your squad chat keeps cutting out. It's really hard to hear.
Son of a... I hate this game. Alright, which part did we hear last?
You were covering mines. After you said first mine, then it cut out, then we heard second mine.
Alright, I'm going to use vent for this part. The first, basically the mine guide. It can be useful if you are using a high-speed chassis and trying to clear out enemy tanks, as it will allow you to clear out 1 or 2 extra mines. The problem is, most people nowadays will put 2-3 mines together. It will not protect you from the second mine. Basically, it will protect you from 1. The second mine will kill you. So, honestly, I personally don't like that upgrade. I think it's completely pointless for a lightning. Whereas with the Prowler, it actually can be beneficial, or a Sunday. It's very much less so on the lightning, though. The 5th one is the vehicle stealth. I don't know if anybody here has used that. If so, could you please comment at this time? If no one has, I am sorry, but we will not be able to cover it. I have not had a chance to test that one out. The nanite auto repair. Did someone say
cover
something?
something on that.
I can talk about it because I use it in my mosquito for dogfighting. It is great if you're going to be spiraling around and chasing, and I would think if you're using a racer, it would be good because essentially once you're out of line of sight, you disappear from radar. So if you're driving around really fast, maneuvering through hills, around trees, whatever, you will disappear from their sight and they will not know where you are. So stealth could be useful if you're that kind of an ambush tank driver.
Okay, thank you for that. And the last loadout, which is one I personally use a lot, which is the nanite auto repair. It basically will allow you to repair over time. I find that it's very useful, like if you're engaging enemy tanks, because while you're out maneuvering them, they might get a shot off on you. However, when you're spinning, you're going to be repairing. So even if they get that second shot off, you're going to repair quite a bit of the damage already. Whereas with the front armor or the side armors, you basically will not have that repair. It can be very useful in combination with the high-speed chassis especially, because you're going to be out maneuvering your enemies to begin with. And when you're sieging a base, it will allow you to repair over time. So if you're sieging a spawn area or a tower, you basically go behind the hill and you start repairing, which also makes it that you do not have to necessarily be an engineer, and your tank will repair over time, which will allow you to get out, like if you're a heavy or playing another class, and you can go be a heavy and start shelling enemy tanks while your tank is auto repairing. It will also allow you a chance to put down a claymore or something else as well around the area, or tank mines if you know an enemy tank is coming. It basically will give you several more viable options, and the downside to it, however, is of course you don't have the front reinforced armor or one of the other upgrades, which can be beneficial as well depending on the situation. Does anybody else have anything they would like to add to any of these upgrades that has not been covered?
Do you mind if I correct something?
Sure.
We discussed this during some of the other training sessions, like the heavy assault training. The direction that you take damage from on a tank or a vehicle is based upon when the projectile is fired. So a heavy shooting at the back of a tank, if it spins around to the front and it impacts on the front, it doesn't matter. It counts as a back hit. So it matters for when it's fired. So if somebody's shooting at you from the front, it is going to be a front hit. It will not be a top hit, even if they manage to arc that Phoenix missile.
That is correct. However, with the Phoenix, a lot of times they will fire it from a high elevation where you're not going to be able to get the shot, so it's going to count as an above shot.
If they're at a higher elevation and shooting it down, and it's considered a top, yeah, that's a top one. But
correct.
But just maneuvering it to hit the side or to hit the top doesn't change what type of armor it's going to hit. It's going to hit the front if they came from the front.
That is correct.
Or at the point that they pulled the trigger.
That is very much correct. Thank you.
Alright, like to be fun, guys, or I'm gonna get out of the squad.
The last thing to cover is utilities. I am going to let Signe speak first because I know he prefers the proximity radar, and that is the first one on the list.
Proximity radar is really short range. It's 50 meters, so I don't run with it. Probably better with smoke. I do it on my flash star.
Right, which you can explain what it's good for, but I cannot.
Radar shows everything. So, if you've ever looked at your radar and you see dots or you see the little like caret symbols, the little or accent marks or however you want to call those things, the little arrow type things, that's not a dot. That means somebody spotted them. The dots are picked up by radar or because they fired a weapon or something else to make themselves known to your radar. So that's what radar does. Radar. Especially on a flash star with the huge range that it has, you know, you just park one around a base and all of a sudden you see all these dots showing up and you can see where people are coming from.
On the topic of proximity radar, probably best vehicle for that is the Mosquito.
Yeah, Mosquito's huge. It's 200 meters.
Yeah, 200 meters. What I do is I hover over top of a spawn base and just wait and watch people run out and die.
But my flash star, it's a cheap resource to do, and you just bring it out, and I bring that into a base, and then that lets me defend. I've had more than once I've gotten tells people, "You're hacking. You know where I'm at." I'm like, "No, I got radar." They tried to sneak around, and I was waiting for them. I knew where they were coming from.
It does seem kind of cheap, to be honest.
Whatever.
And again, this game was never balanced, so.
Right. Has anybody had any experience with the fire suppression system? Not the...
On the Lightning?
I don't know. There's two of them being listed here, which kind of throws me off. One is called fire suppression, which repairs critically damaged vehicles. Then there's the fire suppression 4, which is I use. I'm not sure actually the difference between the two. I thought it was the same thing.
They're the same. It's just a glitch. I've got the same thing where my Sunderer showed up with 3 AMSs.
Alright, thank you. I wasn't sure if that was something new that I did not know about. Alright, so the next thing we're going to be talking about is...
a really big explosion in the vehicle bay?
Excuse me.
How to take out a Sunderer, 101.
Ernest, I made you squad lead because I was having leadership chat basically overpower my ventrilo and I couldn't hear anything, which is kind of hard to run a lesson with. Alright, the next thing we're going to talk about is the fire suppression for a tank. This basically upgrade will allow it, when the tank is critically damaged and on fire, you will hit F to use its ability, and basically it will put you back up to about 25% of your tank's health. I personally love this upgrade as it has saved me more than a lot of times in fights against enemy tanks, because they get the first shot off on you, they think they're going to win, they don't get maneuverable, they get you critical and you hit your fire suppression and it gives you an extra shot against them, which a lot of times can actually be the difference between a battle. The fourth upgrade is, well, the third upgrade is the IR smoke. That actually is a very good upgrade to have, especially when sieging or facing an enemy heavy, because that has a lock-on missile, because they lock on you, you pop the IR, all of a sudden, oops, they can't lock on you anymore, they lose the lock. So it can be very good against their lock-on missile technology. Does anybody have anything they would like to add about this? Anybody have anything they would like to add about the utilities or any preferences or tactics that they prefer with?
I think for the moment the nano repair system is superior, even to the, well, if you are talking about lightning then yeah, nanite repair system. I don't see nothing else.
On a lot of vehicles now. I mean, it got buffed recently, so it's a great upgrade for the for that slot.
Alright, Signe, would you like to demonstrate the high-speed chassis versus the one that you prefer, the other chassis?
Oh, where do you want to do that?
We're gonna have someone get in the. We're gonna have Confurious be in the Prowler, and he's gonna try to aim a turret at us to demonstrate the difference between the two chassis performance.
Three, two,
Confurious, can you please get a Prowler for us? And you're gonna turn the turret. Basically, you're gonna stay stationary and try to hit us with a turret, and we're gonna circle you so people can see the difference between the two behaviors for the video. Anybody else who wants to watch this, we're going to be going to a flat area to do this at.
Let's see, flat area.
The difference would be also
if you're
we
gonna
should
want
do some
a flat
starting
area,
and
I
stop.
go for the west area. Southwest is generally pretty flat out.
Okay, let me.
Put a marker down.
Shit is driving me crazy. Let me scout for a flat area.
No, what was it you were?
He still hasn't hit you.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm just driving around in circle.
Alright, Signe, I want you to go first. I want Confurious to try to target Signe. This is, Signe, please name the chassis that you are using.
This is the rival combat chassis.
So, you prefer the rival over the racer speed?
I do. It's more maneuverable, and there's no numbers to put with it, but I've heard that it seems to have a slight armor buff. That could be just rumor. That rumor's been around for a while. I mean, if we drive in a circle around this thing, you know, Matt and I next to each other, you're not going to notice a difference in speed. If we're kind of out more flat area, you know, because part of this is turning. If we keep turning around and around, you're going to notice the traction of the rival combat chassis kick in. Whereas if we try to do a race, you know, flat straight race, the racer chassis will definitely pull ahead. If we were to do stops and starts, you'll see the racer chassis do better.
Yeah, we had a parallel race.
It's all about your style.
How many times were you able to hit him in all those shots?
None.
Alright,
That's
now try
right.
against me. It helps if vehicles aren't coming in the way, because I keep bumping into allied vehicles, so I can't do the maneuver.
Yo, guys, get out of the way. Oop, that's one.
I'm taking pictures up here for, yeah, I'm just taking pictures of this.
That's two. Three.
He hasn't hit me.
No.
How tight are you trying to do those turns?
You basically, what you do with the chassis, and this is the reason I prefer the speed chassis, when you use the speed chassis, what the hell?
I counted for
Blew
the
up
times
random.
you went around, you got hit 3 times.
I actually didn't get hit, dude. I don't know if you're lagging
Are you
or if
sure?
I'm lagging,
'Cause
but I shouldn't have
from
gotten hit.
the
We
angle
don't
I
take
saw,
damage.
It hit your top armor.
Really?
I think
Because-
Matt would know if he was being hit or not.
Yeah, Dark Servant says
Okay,
he
wait.
saw you get hit, so.
Yeah, I gotta be
Yeah,
lagging
cool.
it because I shouldn't have gotten hit at all by the Prowler in that maneuver.
Yeah.
And especially not the Vanguard or the Magway, because they have even a
Yeah.
slower.
Poor Verb. Kicked from the squad.
Alright, but basically, the thing with the high-speed chassis is when you do the maneuver, you have to let go at the point where you want to let go, whereas the rival chassis you can continue on full speed. To do the same maneuver with the high speed, you basically have to let go for half a second on your speed and kind of brake, so it makes you slide, whereas the combat chassis, or the rival chassis, will allow you just to keep driving straight. However, the thing is, and this is why, and the big difference is, like, now if an air unit comes, the rival chassis is going to have a harder time avoiding that air unit, where the combat chassis, the high-speed chassis, will not. And
So
as
it's
soon as
more
I
of
can
a
get
case
out there
of
from this
ground
lag
versus
spike,
air.
I will show you.
I like speed
Alright,
drifting.
can
if
one of
you
our
have
Mossy
that.
pilots please get a Mossy?
Please get what? What do you need?
I need a Mossy with rocket pods from one of our usual pilots.
Yeah, that's me. I got it.
Here, I can run back and grab mine if you want. I'm not doing
I've already got it.
Okay.
Mossy with the rocket pods in
And
the
now
area.
everybody's seeing why I haven't been playing, because I shouldn't have gotten hit at all from that type of a
Yeah.
shot. And I was.
Yeah, like, probably from your field of view, you were not being hit.
Alright, I've
but
gotta go.
From his field of view, we could easily see you get hit 3 or 4.
So, yeah.
Yeah, as I was saying, because I shouldn't have gotten hit from any of those shots, because I was way ahead of his turret on my screen.
Yeah. Well, that sucks, man.
Yeah, this is why I haven't been playing much the past
Hey
few
guys,
days.
look at my flash.
I've noticed that I've been lagging a lot.
Guess what? Flash fart. No.
Who has the Mossy?
Wait.
Alright, Signe. I want Signe to try to avoid the Mossy shots from the rocket pods. So please try to... Guys, please stop driving around your Prowlers. You're gonna end up killing me again. This is probably the second time I've died because people fooling around. The first time my tank got flipped.
But I'm pro.
Alright, Signe, do you mind trying to
Yeah,
avoid a
Ah,
shot?
what the fuck?
Fierce, are you able to
Okay,
follow Signe
going
to
to-
be...
Here, I have a better idea. If you want, later on we could try and get a Liberator up in the air with the cameras and zoom. That way we could record this.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
just
trying
to
to
make
show
sure no
this
one
with a
feels
Mossy
nauseous.
right now, not a lib.
I ran
gonna
out
do
of
I was just thinking for a camera
rockets,
recording.
but 14 of my rockets hit.
No, that's not a bad idea. Galaxy might even be better because you could use the TV.
Yeah, but the Liberator has a bottom gun, so.
Alright, how many times were you able to hit Signe in that time period?
14? 14.
Would
I
Signe
ran out
have
of,
died in the time
I
period
ran out
that
of
you were
ammo.
shooting?
Oh yeah. Yeah. It takes
Alright, I want you to
no,
restock
wait,
your
no,
ammo.
no.
I want you to do the same time period for me and see how many times you actually hit me with the combat, with the speed chassis.
wait, give me a second. I'll go check out the lightning.
Alright, let me know when you're ready. Confused.
No.
You can stand up on that rock over here. I'm gonna stay within the radius of this rock, so you'll be able to see
Okay.
it.
Okay. Signe would have survived, but it takes
Alright, Signe, can you move your tank?
takes
'Cause I'm gonna be
18
driving
shots.
around this.
it takes 18 shots to kill a lightning. So Signe would have
How many does it take to set it on fire?
16.
And just to
Most
confirm
likely,
the
yeah.
amount of rockets per pod.
Now, where is...
16.
Okay, there he is. Alright, you ready? 3, 2, 1. Let me get
Okay,
full
wait,
speed and we'll go.
which one are you? Two, go.
Ah, did you see me now?
Yeah.
Alright, go.
Here we go.
Damn, that lightning's fast.
Oh, that was a good 3 hits.
Seriously, can people stop driving around with tanks? Again, I had to turn out of the way I wanted to go because people are
Guys,
driving
check
in the
this out a
tank.
sec.
That's a guy who's not with us. One of the people who's being a complete douche. If you want, I could leave some explosives on his vehicle.
Hey, stop. But with the exception of the fact that someone got in my way, how many times did you actually hit me besides that one time where someone
I
bumped me?
counted the hits he got. I think he got about 4, maybe 5.
Oh, no. Oh,
I call it 4.
Erinus, would you say about the same?
10, 12. I lost track
There's
of
2
you
times where people
around
caused me
the-
to have to bump into a rock and screw up the showing.
Oh, I wasn't counting the rock hit stuff.
I lost you around the trees right here, over here.
Alright, so would you
So
have,
yeah, that took me,
judging from the amount of times you hit me, would you have killed me in that time period?
no. You would have like 20%, you know, of life.
Alright, so as you can see, because of the high speed, when a Mossy is attacking you,
Whoa.
with stopping and maneuvering around and turning, the high-speed chassis, if done right, can actually give you a little bit more maneuverability and give you a chance to escape the Mossy depending where you're positioning on the map. I have lost count of how many times I've actually managed to evade rocket pods by basically doing those same maneuvers that were just shown here with the high-speed chassis.
Okay, basically all you gotta
Could
do
we
is
please stop crashing all the galaxies?
in a
Alright,
lightning.
can somebody please get a Liberator and a good gunner? And I want the Liberators to try to shoot the 2 tanks so we can show the difference of
Is
the
that
maneuverability
Liberator
between the
front
2
gun
chassis
or Liberator
against a
bottom
lip.
gun?
Our cameraman should be the gunner, by the way, so he can show it. I just need someone who's
If you
good
want,
at
I can
piloting.
fly. I'm pretty good with stability.
What?
If you want
Hold
to
on,
see a
my
direct
game's
comparison,
crashing.
what we should do is put both tanks out on the road at the same time.
If you prefer, but that's going to be hard to show on a video because we're trying to show his video. He can't video both shots at the same time.
I don't know, a tank
Yeah,
against an
Matt,
air
just
vehicle
FYI, my
is
game
a
just
dead
crashed.
tank.
I agree. However, I found a lot of times with the high-speed chassis, you actually can ditch air vehicles. This is just from experience. That's one of the reasons I prefer it over the rival. I have used used both chassis before. I'm telling you from experience, I've managed to evade people like Derelith doing these maneuvers.
Are we recording the event talk?
Alright, who's got the... I needed someone to get that Galaxy with the Zephyrus or Dalton so he could shoot at us so we can show the maneuverability different.
Okay, I'll spawn here. No wait, there is one.
Granted,
Got it.
most
Yeah,
likely against a Dalton you will still most likely die unless you see it coming because they're going to get at least 1 or 2 shots against you. However, if you know they're above you and you're maneuvering already at full speed, a lot of times it's hard for a Liberator to actually hit a high-speed chassis. The rival chassis I found actually will get hit more, and this is, as I said, one of the reasons I prefer the high speed. But this is just showing the difference so you can see the different scenarios where each chassis has their benefit. As you saw with the turning against Carnivorous, the rival chassis was quite a bit better in a tank on tank. The high speed when you're maneuvering against an air vehicle sometimes can actually give you a little bit of advantage. Alright, you come over to the squad area. We're going to do the same maneuvers here. I just needed Confurious to be the gunner so he can show it on his video. Alright, Signy, do you want to go first this time, or do you want me to go first?
Don't matter.
Alright, I'll go first this time, why not? Confurious, I want you to get ready to hit me. Go up to about 600 feet like you would as if you were a regular Liberator, and let me know when you're ready. Keep in mind, it would take approximately 2 to 3 hits to kill me. Depending on how direct the hits are. Alright, on 3, you're going to be targeting Mat 98 first. In 3, 2, 1, go.
First one not really good, second missed, third missed, fourth missed. Still missing. Okay, that was a good hit.
Have you hit me yet, Confurious?
Yeah, 1.5 times.
What's the difference between the Zephyr and the Zephyr PX?
Alright, and stop. How many times did you hit me in that chase?
Not a lot.
Alright, I want you to go restock your ammo, and I want you to go for Signy doing the same maneuvers.
It was like, let's say, 7 hits. Direct
Keep in
hits,
mind,
and
that chase was on a wide open field where I basically kept driving open. In a map, depending on the map, with the exception of Amarish, a lot of times you can get debris and stuff to hide under to escape the Liberator in that time period. Like, there is a tunnel over here that I just found where I would have been able to basically hide my tank until the Liberator got bored and had to fly off or land, come at a low altitude where I could have shot at him back. Alright, are you ready with your Liberator yet?
Damn it, TY.
Signy, get in position for them to chase you.
Oh, where do you want me at the mark?
Yeah, that's where we're kind of meeting up the every. That's not Signy you're shooting at.
learn to fly.
Signate, when you're ready, let everybody know so we can start the...
Oh, I thought they already were.
Oh. I'm sorry, I didn't realize they started.
I can't confirm, but I think that there's a minimum of 2 hits on him.
Signate, would you have been dead yet?
I have no idea.
Alright, can anybody confirm if Signate would have gotten 3 hits by now?
Yeah.
From what gun?
3 hits is a sure kill, regardless of top armor or anything else.
Yeah, I think 3 hits is a guaranteed kill.
Alright, so you can see the difference in maneuverability where it's not necessarily going to save you, but a lot of times the high speed will actually save you against an enemy liberator, just because you're going to be able to outmaneuver them, and it's very hard for even experienced Dalton cannon users and Zephyr cannon users with the mobility of the bullets to actually hit a tank that's moving at extremely fast speed. This is something to keep in mind, and I suggest everybody watch the video after to compare the 2 differences so you can decide on your loadout and decide exactly which one you think is better for you. I recommend definitely trying both of them because they both have their advantages and disadvantages depending on the situation and the maps. Is there anything anybody would like to add to this or see tested? Anybody?
9.
I think that about covers the aerial attack
Alright.
of the chassis.
Well, I apologize for everybody. I did plan on covering the Prowler today. However, we have already gone over an hour just on the Lightning, so we will extend this lesson out for a few more weeks and cover the Prowler in next week's lesson with some experienced Prowler users. So for anybody who's watching this video or that's here right now, if you are experienced with the Prowler, could you please show up next week to help with that lesson, as I am not too familiar with the Prowler, as mainly I use the Lightning. Thank you for attending this lesson. I think we'll end it here. This is a part of a multi-lesson. We will be using tanks in unison by the end of this, along with the Sunday part. So keep that in mind. We will be coming back to tanks and more tank tactics later on as it concerns groups instead of one-on-one scenarios.
If you have enjoyed
Alright,
these videos,
this
feel
is Matt
free to join
98,
our website.
signing out for the EGO training event. Thank you everybody for attending. Just stay in the squad for 1 more minute for a screenshot of attendance.
Group photo.
Okay, thank you very much, folks. Enjoy your game. I am actually going to go eat now.
Can we get a group photo?
Spaghetti.
Telling me to blow stuff up. Jack.
Can you guys separate just a little bit from the Prowler? I want 4 on each side just so I can get the names and 2 in front. Some on the sides and 2 in front.
Damn it, Jack.
Jack, get the mouse going.
Don't worry, we got it. Let's just get rid of the record. Don't worry, we're all engineers.
Yeah, this was my event, so it only seems a good idea.
Oh dear, you guys lied. There's only a 33% bonus here. But still.
Ruinous, get on the tank. Jack, move left a little. Jack, left. Left. No, my left. My left, dude.
Your other left.
Keep going. Perfect. Oh, why did you move then? No one moved. Okay, I got the screenshot. Thank you.
Hooray!